The new Tesla Model 3 Performance has this important new button here. Ride and handling, I can switch it from standard to sport because the car is now fitted with adaptive dampers. And look at this. Now when you go into track mode, you get this graphic here which shows your battery temp, your motor and brake temperatures and your tyre pressures, plus the power distribution. Rather than having plus or minus front or rear, it's understeer, no thank you, or oversteer, which allows you to do this. It's not pretty. Tesla has given the new Model 3 Performance an uprated motor over the long-range model. So as with that car, you've got a motor on the front axle and the rear axle, but here you've got a beefier new rear drive motor which delivers more power, 460 horsepower from the combined system output. Plus, the car can deliver more peak power and more peak torque for longer than the old Model 3 Performance, and that should improve the launch times. Let's find out by heading to a runway. Tesla says this new Model 3 Performance should do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. So I think they time it with foot rollout, and I don't know my specialist timing gear, so I'll see what I get. Ready? 3, 2, 1. That's quick. 3 seconds. 2.93. That's your foot rollout. Listen, I can't mile while we're at it. Whoa. Whoa. 11.42. As with the normal Model 3, this Performance has Tesla's new headlight design, but over the standard car, you get a slightly more aggressive front lower bumper with a splitter. Then there's 20-inch alloy wheels with these inserts that you can remove. Moving down the side, not much changes here over the standard car, but at the back you have a carbon fiber boot lip spoiler. Ooh, and apparently that does actually provide some form of downforce. And here, the lower part of the rear bumper, you've got this diffuser. Here's something else that's new. You might think it looks like a plaid badge, but it's not plaid. This is the new Performance badge. It's similar but different. On the inside, you also get the new Performance badging here on the sport seats. So you get these as standard with this Performance model, and they're heated and cooled. They're much better than the seats in the old Tesla Model 3 Performance. The only other change really, carbon fiber effect here on the dash. Oh, and the screens that I showed you earlier. Here in the back, there's plenty of space, deep seat bases. You've got this glass roof, which is nice. There's sufficient headroom, knee room's all right. You get this little screen here in the back like you didn't on the old Tesla Model 3. There are a few tweaks to this car chassis over the previous generation Model 3 Performance. So it now has bespoke Pirelli tyres, and they're about 40 millimeters wider here on the rear than they used to be. That should give it more grip. They've also reprogrammed the torque vectoring of how they distribute torque across the rear axle as well. Plus, the car has stiffer suspension top mounts, beefier anti-roll bars, and of course those adaptive dampers I've already mentioned. The Model 3 Performance is fitted with the same 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack as the standard long-range model. However, the way you might drive it could affect the efficiency. So this one has averaged 309 watt-hours per mile, and when you flip that around to miles per kilowatt-hour, it works out to 3.2 miles per kilowatt-hour. Multiply that up by the battery capacity of 75 kilowatt-hours, and that gives you a real-world range of about 243 miles on a full charge. Now, Tesla says this car should be able to do 328 miles on a full charge, so that is quite some difference, but I think the difference is really going to mainly be down to the fact that this has been given to journalists and it's a performance model, so they've been driving it quickly, you know, like the way I've been driving it, launching it and launching it and launching it some more. Obviously, apart from the increase in the performance and the improvement in the handling, this Model 3 Performance is identical to a normal Model 3. So you have to control most of the car's functions through this screen, and you use these buttons on the steering wheel to access certain things. And it's really annoying that they don't have indicator stalks anymore, and you have to use these buttons on the steering wheel. Don't like that. And I also don't like the swipey here on the infotainment screen to put it into drive or reverse. It was much easier with the old car when you had the gear selector here. Still, I do like the feeling of space in here, and the view forward is really good because of this low dash. Considering this is a performance car, it has a huge boot, 594 litres of space, which does include the extra space under here. And if you need to, you can fold down the rear seats, so you have to go round to do it. See, it would be better if it was a hatchback because that'd be more practical than the saloon style boot opening, but I guess if you want that, there is of course the Tesla Model Y. And as you'd hope from an electric car, you have a front boot, 88 litres of space there, really good. for me to sit in. I could have a little bath. I don't know what it is with the German electric cars, the way they can't create front boots, but take a leaf out of Tesla's book, if you will, please. Do you know what? When you consider the performance this car delivers, it's an absolute bargain. It costs from just under £60,000 and it comes fully loaded. The only option really is this paint. It's like £2,000. Madness. However, it does make a noise after you run it for a bit. Can you hear it just whirring away? Tesla did a lot of work on this latest version of the Model 3 to improve the comfort, but they've gone one further with this new performance, and it's all down to those adaptive dampers. So I'm going to come out of Sport and go into Standard, and it'll soften things off. I mean, it is still firm because it's their sporty model, but it's definitely less jarring than before. Don't think it's silky smooth in the same way that a BMW i4 M50 is. But if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that, click on the pop-out banner up there or follow the QR code appearing on the screen now. One way this car is better than the BMW is the turning circle. It's more manoeuvrable. So the turning circle is 11.6 meters. I think I might have cocked this up though. It's saying I'm going to get past, but I ain't convinced. No. Damn, I thought I was going to get round there. Right, off we go. But still, I wouldn't have got hardly any cars around there. You can live with this car easily every day. The firm edge does make it feel sporty, but it's definitely softer than it was before. Unless of course I go into Sport, and then it feels quite firm. Not horrible again, but firmer than in Standard. So I think I'd generally just drive it in Standard. I don't know why the car's thinking there's someone in the road. Unless there's a ghost that I can't see. It says they're behind me, and a motorcyclist. There's no motorcyclist either. And that person's just walking along the side of me now. I'm just going to pull over and make sure that my cameraman hasn't put any cameras, which could be confusing the sensors. No, there was nothing there, so I can't figure out what the heck's going on. Anyway, let's go. There's another phantom person there and there. So with all these phantom, look, here's this person chasing me, this ghost is chasing me. So Tesla has one pedal driving, lift off the accelerator and the car will come to a complete stop like that. What I can do though is go into track mode, put regen all the way off. Now when I lift off, look, it's just coasting. And obviously you can just vary that completely and have it exactly as you want it, but only in track mode. And when you're in track mode, the suspension defaults to sport, so it'll be in the firmer setting. So you can't have full control over that while having your suspension in the softer setting. Quite like it though, look. Just coasting. Right, we're approaching a dual carriageway. Let's just check the acceleration from 40 miles an hour. See how long it takes to get to 70. So I'm cruising at 40. 3, 2, 1, go. That's 70 right there. Blimey. Maybe we'll do it again. 40. Crazy acceleration. Yeah, on this broken bit of road I can really see the difference between sport and standard suspension. Oh look, there's a phantom motorcyclist riding backwards the wrong way on the dual carriageway. Okay, what I am going to do now is go back into sport. It's on a twisty road. Let's see how fun this Tesla Model S performance is. The changes are designed to help the car stay flatter in the bends than before. Oh, I think I'm getting a bit too close to our car in front, but yeah, it feels very, very composed. The steering is sharp and responsive, and it just absolutely hooks up out of a corner. But then, that was a bit strange. You hear that knocking sound. That was from the front suspension, like hitting a bump or something. That wasn't great. And I also got a scrubbing sound from this side. I don't know what that was. So I think it was dragging on the road. It was blooming good round there though. Right, I'm going to go into track mode now. I'm going to have the regen much less. I'm going to go for oversteer, so it should be sending power to the rear wheel, so it should feel like a very rear drive car. Yeah, you feel like you're getting pushed out the corners more. Quite like that. I'm not sure it feels quite so punchy though, like you haven't got as much performance overall, but it's sort of fun. I like that. What I'm going to do now is change things up a bit. I'm going to slide the slider all the way to handling balance to the front for understeer. So it's more front drive bias now. So this is not what you're going to do really if you want to have fun, but let's just try like this anyway. Okay, here we go. Understeer setting for the win. Yeah, it feels more like I'm being pulled than pushed this time. Go around here and floor it. Now it feels more like a Honda Civic Type R. But once again, it doesn't feel quite so zippy as when you have it in the middle setting. You can feel the front wheels struggling for traction. Let's just go back to the rear wheel drive a second. Let's go oversteer. Here we go. Yes, that's way more fun. It's nice as the back end slides about. And actually, I'd probably run it like this when I want to have fun rather than in four-wheel drive mode, because it's so blooming quick, it can't actually deploy most of its power. And it does just add an extra element of fun to it. It's quite funny because I've got a GR Yaris and you can alter the torque split front and rear, but not by as much as I think you can in this. And I'm forever messing with it, and I'll probably be forever messing with this. However, I just wish Tesla had sort of taken a leaf out of Hyundai's book with their real clever driver system where they create fake gears in the car that it actually feels like you're revving through the gears. Wish this had that feature as well, because that really does add to the engagement. I want to see if you actually reduce the amount of power when you move this slider around. So let's go do some acceleration tests. Oh, look, it's doing the motorbike thing. I've got a theory actually. Let me just check something. When I do that, I can see a camera there. Where's that camera? I didn't notice it earlier. Oh, look. Here's a real motorbike. It's coming up here. But what I didn't notice, obviously when I got out before, I had the door open like that and I couldn't see the camera there, and I think it might be interfering with this camera here, and it's just recognising this as having something travelling down the side of me. So let's take this off and see if we get that problem again. Bet we don't. Right, let's see. Any phantom motorbikes or people? No. So all of you people who might have been hating the comments going, oh, that sensor system's rubbish. No, it was the journalist that was rubbish. Yeah, that can sometimes happen when you put cameras on the outside of the cars. It can trigger the sensors, but no, it's all fine. Nothing weird happening. Probably spot this car now, look. Yeah, perfect. No weird people running around. Everything is good. What I'm going to do is set a baseline 0 to 60 time of this car in its insane mode, but not track mode, so normal four-wheel drive. So let's do it. 3, 2, 1, launch. Let's hook in. 3.3. So this surface is not as grippy as the runway that I filmed on earlier, but that's the baseline, 3.3. So what I'm going to do now is go into track mode, and then I'm going to put the handling balance neutral. See how quick it takes to go from 0 to 60 in neutral handling balance. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Baseline 3.24. What I'm going to do now is send into oversteer mode. Let's see what that does. 3, 2, 1. 3.32. Same thing again, but the handling balance into understeer. 3, 2, 1, go. 3.35. All in all, it's pretty identical. Maybe this doesn't work how I thought it worked. It must be using the rear motor in order to be able to get that kind of performance figure. It couldn't get that from just the front motor. I am confused.
I asked Tesla what was going on, and they explained that the latest track mode torque split system isn't designed to work with 100% throttle in a straight line. So even when you slide the bar to maximum, oversteer or understeer, both motors can still work in tandem to help give maximum performance when you floor the accelerator. That means you'll only feel the difference when cornering with anything less than full throttle.
So then, what's my final verdict on the new Tesla Model 3 Performance? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Model 3 Performance. I mean, the amount of performance it delivers for the money, it's incredible. It's great value. Though, do you know what? Overall, something like a BMW M2 is more fun to drive. And really, if I was buying a Tesla Model 3, I'd probably just go for the long range version, because you'll go slightly further on a full charge. It's quick enough, and it's £10,000 cheaper. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to watch some other videos, click on the video windows. And if you want to sell your car the easy way, just click on the CarWow logo.